welcome back to episode 10 of Vision in Motion by Flavr Studios. We are currently in Kamala in Phuket. We've changed locations. The last month we spent was in Old Town Phuket, which was in our last video. And we're kind of bouncing around just hotels trying to find the right spot. Nothing kind of came up. We checked out a few spots. There was something that was missing from all of them. So we just kind of, rode the wave and waited for a place to pop up, and the perfect spot has popped up, and once again on Facebook Marketplace.
Yes, thank you, Facebook Marketplace. Sponsor us. Imagine if you could get sponsored and you got $1,000 credit to use on like thrifting furniture or something. Smart idea.
Yeah.
The highlight here for me is definitely being able to see nature from every room and the beautiful bathroom that's here. And we've got like a sauna, a gym, and Mike has actually found surf as well, which we weren't expecting.
Wow. Wow. Mind blowing. Like, what?
Happiness. What else?
Our last week in business, we just had a random dip that came through, and we just couldn't figure out why that week was so slow. Nothing changed. We were doing the normal things, the normal sort of like marketing we would do, but for some reason it just dipped down. So we had a bit of a lull week and just a bit of an emotional week of thinking like why that happened, and also other ways that we can, I guess, look at those periods and figure out why we do get those dips. But I guess one of the biggest things for us to realize is everybody says, it's like, it is business. So there is going to be good times, there is going to be bad times. So it's like trying not to have as much of an emotional attachment to certain lull periods and like, why is this happening, when it's just like a normal thing. You just kind of got to keep swimming throughout all your periods.
As well, the following week to that week ended up being a really great week for us, and it made us feel a little bit silly on how much doubt we let creep into us. So before we left on this trip, I was actually chatting to a family friend, and we were talking about business, and we had just had a normal week. It wasn't a good week, wasn't a bad week. She was like, how's business? And I told her about it, and she was like, yeah, that's just the rhythm of business. And then I thought at that time, but like, aren't I meant to take full accountability or responsibility so I can change that, so I can control the outcome or make it better? And sometimes I'm not really sure where to land on that, like in a debate, is like, do you take full responsibility and then take it all personally, or do you detach from the outcome and realize there is a rhythm to business and it will go up and down? Not sure. I don't know.
We'll get back to you.
We'll get back to you. If you know, leave it in the comments. But basically that was our biggest takeaway from that week, is to not get too emotional, because the following week was really awesome and built our confidence way back up. And then we found this pad recently. So this is like a really good starting point for like getting back in touch with all of our goals.
So what are your goals for this week?
No, what are your goals for this?
What are your goals for this week?
Okay. My goal this week is to track our incoming and outgoing with the spreadsheet that I've set up, and stick to the budget and see how that feels. And then my other goal is to move my body each day with love and like quality, because we're in this prime environment and just want to make the most of it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Your goals?
Because we're in a partnership, and we're a couple, and we're building a brand together, and I guess just trying to have more urgency on certain topics. So like, because we're each other's bosses, so it's like making sure the time frame doesn't get too sort of like out of place, and we're staying on point. So I'm staying on point more. The next one would be keeping up with our fitness, like you were saying as well, and trying to find a surfboard. Yeah.
Get your hands in a surfboard. So last week in the comments, we had a couple questions asked about the idea of the studio, where it came from, and if there was doubts or who believed in first and whatnot. So I came up with the studio idea in a time when Mike was really busy with the cafes, and the studio idea was basically, I really wanted a space where I could express myself, bring in clients, chill out, actually, because we were sharing a house at the time. And I had drawn it in my diary over and over again. But I was saying to Mike, I had so many ideas throughout life. Some I acted on, some I didn't act on. And what really helped me actually act on this idea and take it seriously was seeing his cafe journey pan out, because I watched them get a old caravan off Marketplace, renovate it, turn it into a cafe, and then turn that mobile coffee shop into 3 shops and still have the coffee caravan running. And it made me realize that there'd been so many ideas that I had disqualified myself away from by thinking that's like too big, I'll leave it for the future, how the hell would I do that? And then watching him just go from something small and then put one foot in front of the other made me realize that's what you do when you have a big goal. You just put one foot in front of the other. And I basically came to Mike with the idea because he knew that I was really trying to find something that had more purpose to do with my time. And he said yes to doing the journey with me. So what made you believe in it? And yeah, what do you think?
At the time, we had the caravan and one of the cafes, and we wanted another sort of creative outlet that we had a space for ourselves. Like Jess was saying, we're sharing a house, my family house. So like there was always sort of people there, and we wanted a space where we could, you know, knuckle down on work or just get creative and just have our own sort of little pad of a space. So at the start, when Jess first brought the idea and her original work was just like, she was a photographer, so just having a place where she can also shoot, I just thought like, wow, how cool, like we can finally have our own place where we can create content, other people can create content, but it was also, at the time, it kind of like, it wasn't planned, and it somehow just all worked out to happen all at once, but we were also going into 2 other leases of the cafes, and at the time of us, we found the studio, and then the opportunity came out for these 2 cafes, and everything was kind of happening. So there was, I wouldn't say there was any doubt in the idea, but it was kind of like, okay, like this is going to be, the pressure was already there, but just like, okay, we're just gonna have to navigate this through. Like you say, one foot in front of the other. I was definitely excited to have another creative outlet and a place that people could really bring their ideas to life, and just seeing how excited people would get over a coffee, and just how, you know, what that brought to them, and the feeling to having a space where they can bring their campaigns and ideas and businesses and just things to the world for you guys to see.
And also, just a little bit of insight. During that time, like Mike said, he was like super busy with bringing those second and third cafes to life. And he wasn't like hands-on at that stage. It was like builders were hands-on, but there were still things required of him. And his days for a little while there were like early starts at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., then heading to the cafe, doing the shift all day, then in the afternoon, like stock runs or what was required to help out and do his part in the cafe thing. And then after that, come to the studio and renovate the studio all night. Or not all night, but like till like 11 p.m. and then go home and make lunch, and then we'd start the day the next day. And there's so many photos in our camera roll that we stumble across of that season of our lives where we both just absolutely look wrecked in the face, and like Mike's like passed out like uncomfortably over a piece of furniture. Like it became normal to be burnt out. And I think when we first got the studio, the whole first year of having the studio was kind of us fucking around in the studio and just using it as a space to relax. It wasn't actually a fully formed business at that stage. Subscribe to our channel, and thank you so much to anyone who's left a comment. It really helps us know what to talk about. If you want to know anything more about this area of Thailand or us or Flavr, or
let us know.
Let us know.
Cool. Peace. Bye.